The Grizzlies are nearing the end of their summer league schedule, and through 4 games, we've gotten a better look at what this young roster could become.
All right, so I've watched a little bit too. I've liked what I've seen from Cam Boozer. He's continued to flash that he does have his all-around game, which we've said all along. And there's some young players making strong cases. How many of them actually make the team is the real question, though.
So joining us now, we haven't had him for a while, is our guy, ABC 24's Ezekiel Telemaco. Zeke, it's been a minute. You've been busy, man. So,
been busy with a lot of coverage for sure. That would be an understatement, but it's good to be back on the show.
So I know you watch a lot of hoop with us. So, what has been your impression so far this summer league? I know we kind of look at it as this is the real showcase for the rookies, and you and I have talked a lot about this draft class. What has kind of impressed you the most so far?
Yeah, there's a lot of talented players within this draft class. I think that this draft class is equivalent. I know it's a different sport to the 2024 NFL draft class where you had all of those superstars, a lot of talent, a lot of people talking about how generational of a class it is. I know that Mr. Rubin is already going to tell me because I can tell by the face that he's giving me that, hey, this is the preseason, right? Can't judge it off of the preseason. But in terms of what I've seen so far and in terms of these past few games, I would say that Caleb Wilson has really stood out to me. AJ is super shifty, explosive. When it comes to Boozer, I mean, he hasn't really, given me that wow factor, but he's been solid, And I would say that this class does look generational. I mean, Acuff has been chucking up shots. It looks like it looks like a lot of these guys are. Some of them are going through some of those growing pains, and a lot of these other guys are, a more finalized product. Like AJ DeBonza's. Super shifty, super explosive.
Yeah, I don't totally disagree because so the Summer League to me is a great place to get a first look at what those guys would look like potentially in an NBA-style game. Because there's a difference between an NBA-style game and a college-style game, even P4, P5-style college basketball game. So watching them in NBA Summer League, you do get an idea of how they will play in that pace and in that style and with that other kind of talent around. So I don't discredit NBA Summer League games. I think NBA preseason games are different, right? But NBA Summer League games, it's really all those guys trying to make the team and then those high-level rookies out there at the same time. So I've liked what I've seen from Cam Boozer. I think he had 21 one game, 12 in another. He's solid. He's not going to set the world on fire. But right now the Grizzlies need stability. They need consistency, and that might be the absolute best thing they can get out of him. I always liked AJ DeBonza, and I like Darius Acuff a lot too. But you're right, the class is strong, and there's a lot of talent to go watch.
And I think they have a lot of grit as well, just to bounce back off of that. You have guys already throwing shots like Caleb Wilson's hey, I like basketball too much to not step out and sit out. Obviously.
Who was he talking about?
He was talking about all of them. He wasn't just talking about Darren Peterson.
Who was he talking about?
He was talking about all of them.
He was talking about the dude that was sitting out until he found out that he would be second in the draft class.
What's that guy's name?
I don't know. Richard, I think, knows his name.
Mm-hmm. Darren Peterson.
100%.
He was talking about all of them. I mean, he was surprised Darren didn't play, but he said all of them because they asked him, in essence, all of the guys in his range. Staying on Caleb Wilson, NBA Twitter, NBA social media, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you get it, is very reactionary. When you saw Caleb Wilson hit 7 threes in that game against the Grizzlies, it was the same as he's done all college. And immediately people want to go on social media and say Caleb Wilson is better than Cam Boozer, even though Cam Boozer's team won, which doesn't matter. I think that Caleb Wilson will be a better player than Cam Boozer overall. But in saying that, I still do think that Cam Boozer was the right pick for the Grizzlies. Do y'all agree?
I think that Cam Boozer was the safest pick in this draft class. And I think that a lot of times when you get to 4 through 7 through 12, the lower you go, obviously the higher of a risk it is. And you take a big swing on somebody like Wilson. But I like comparing things to quarterbacks, right? You could take a player with a lower ceiling like a Mac Jones, or you can take a player like a Justin. Obviously, both of them didn't pan out, but you can see that athleticism from Caleb Wilson. I would say that when it comes to Boozer, he doesn't have that generational explosiveness that I would see from Wilson or DeBonza or from the other players. But I would say that in terms of the fundamentals and playing the game the right way, you do see that from Boozer as well. So
I would say that when people, again, it's reactionary stuff. So the guy comes out, hits a bunch of threes, and suddenly he's supposed to be the next Messiah. But it doesn't really work like that, and especially in the league. In the NBA, it's all about who's around you, right?
Yeah.
You're a star or two, you got a couple stars, but then who's around you? So those guys are going to be as successful as their supporting cast. That's the truth of this generation of the NBA. The NBA of the old, they were good because, you know, Jordan was Jordan, Bird was Bird, right? Whatever. Kobe was Kobe. And, but this generation of basketball right now, it's about, in the NBA, it's about your supporting cast. So I don't think any of us know how good Cam Boozer or AJ DeBonta or Darren Peterson or Darius Acuff or Caleb Wilson is actually going to be until you see how those organizations piece people around them to set them up for success. SGA is a perfect example of that. Would SGA be the same SGA anywhere? I don't know, but you know that what Oklahoma City did to put around him, put the right pieces in the right places, give him the right situation, is what's helped him be successful.
And so, Zeke, I know you've talked about Cam Boozer, this probably being his team. In theory, yes, but something I think we haven't really talked enough about in Summer League is the guy playing with him, Cedric Coward, who's had a whole season. We've seen what he can be, and he's playing Summer League. In a lot of ways, he's the most ready-made guy. I don't know if you guys have watched a lot of Cedric Coward and Cam Boozer together, but what I've kind of noticed is Cedric Coward is hunting for his shot too much. And it's like that was the thing, because to Ruben's point, I'm wanting to look more at tendencies in Summer League more than the final result. And for me, I really was interested in Cedric Coward and Cam Boozer's fit because they're going to be the two guys this season. It feels like Cedric Coward is not doing enough pick and roll two-man game. I like to see that more. He's just chucking that thing, which is a bad habit that I like to see in Summer League, and it might be a reason why Ruben don't like the NBA that much is they shoot too much. But I don't know. What you guys think?
I think he's trying to prove that he is that guy. You know, it's tough. I think that Jaylen Brown experienced that, and that's probably why he's not a Celtic anymore, is he was drafted the year before, and he was drafted at third, too, the same place that Jason Tatum was drafted at that next year. But despite that, people always assume for Jason Tatum to be the better player, despite him obviously performing well on the court. So I think it's a time where maybe he is trying to overachieve and he's still trying to chuck up those shots. And Summer League is the place to do it. If you're going to chuck up shots and you're going to prove yourself to your team, you know, like Ruben just mentioned, it's more of a competitive environment than those preseason games.
I can answer your question really quickly. The fact that he's playing Summer League tells you that he's not the man.
You
come
think
on now.
so?
Yes. So come on now. If
you think a second-year player?
Yes,
shouldn't?
I think with an organization like the Grizzlies that are rebuilding with so many unknowns, he's one of the few knowns.
Yeah.
Right? He's one of the few knowns on the team. So I don't know that. I do think putting them together, letting them play together is a good idea too. So you can see some of that. But you're right. I've said this for a long time. I think Cedric Coward is going to be a great basketball player.
Yeah.
Do I know if he's ever going to be a superstar? I don't know that answer. But do I think he's going to be a great basketball player? So if you're hunting for your shot, or maybe they want him to be more aggressive to try to, you know, because they're going to need more punches to win games. Who knows? But I just see Cam Boozer is going to be extremely consistent because he knows his game and he plays his game well. And I think Cedric Coward is still rightfully so developing his game because of this time off with injuries and the way that his role is probably going to shift within the Grizzlies. It shifted so much just in last season, right? So there's so many unknowns with the Grizzlies, and I think everybody just has to be able to be excited about having the youth and giving them time. And they did get a point guard, by the way, right? Out of that, ended up that six-team trade, which is what they needed. Right? So I think there's a lot of promise there for the Grizzlies.
They got D'Lo, though. We'll see if they keep him. All right, it's so much that we can hit on in the Grizzlies. We weren't able to touch on it all in this show, but our guy, Evan Hayes on ABC 24, you can check out his articles, and he will get you all caught up with Grizzlies. Summer League, they're taking on my team, the Atlanta Hawks, but we don't have to talk about that.
I think the Hawks have been undefeated or something, aren't they? Or haven't they won?
I think we lost.
Finally lost one?
I think we lost the first one. We lost one.
Y'all been doing pretty good, though.
We lost a game in overtime.